In this demonstration video, we will discuss measuring and adjusting the gap and flush on SRT Viper body panels. Gap specifications for the liftgate are as follows. Liftgate to tail lamp applique is 6 mm plus minus 1 mm. It should be measured at multiple locations. To adjust the gap, open the liftgate and rotate the bump stop clockwise to decrease the gap, or counterclockwise to increase the gap. Adjusting the bump stop will also affect the flush specification between the quarter panel and liftgate, which is -1 mm plus minus 1 mm. The gap specification between the quarter panel and liftgate is 5 mm cross car plus minus 1 mm and should be measured at multiple locations. The gap specification between the liftgate and roof is 4 mm plus minus 1 mm and should be measured at multiple locations. Left and right side liftgate glass to roof gap specification is 3.5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Leading edge of liftgate glass to roof gap specification is 5.5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Widow's peak to roof gap specification is 5 mm plus minus 1 mm. All gap specifications can be adjusted by loosening the 4 hinge to liftgate fasteners and torquing to 20 Nm 15 foot-pounds. Flush specifications for the liftgate are as follows. Liftgate to quarter panel, -1.5 mm plus minus 1.5 mm. Liftgate to roof, 0 mm plus minus 1 mm. Left and right side liftgate glass to roof, -2 mm plus minus 1 mm. Liftgate leading edge to roof, -3 mm plus minus 1 mm. Widow's peak to roof, -1 mm plus minus 1.5 mm. Gap specifications for the door are as follows. Door glass to inlet duct, 9 mm. Door to quarter panel, 4 mm plus minus 1 mm. Door to sill, 5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Door to hinge cover, 5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Door to hood, 4 mm plus minus 1 mm. To adjust the door gaps, the sill and hinge cover must be removed to access the hinge pillar fasteners. Support the door with a suitable lifting device. Loosen the 4 hinge pillar bolts, adjust the door and torque the fasteners to 35 Nm 26 foot-pounds. To adjust the door up and down, the hinge pillar bolts and/or the door to hinge bolts can be loosened. The striker will require removal prior to this process. Torque the hinge to door bolts to 36 Nm 26 foot-pounds and hinge pillar fasteners to 35 Nm 26 foot-pounds. Install the striker and torque the fasteners to 12 Nm 9 foot-pounds. Flush specifications are as follows. Door to quarter panel, 0 mm plus minus 1 mm. Door to hinge cover, -1 mm plus minus 1 mm. Door to hood, over flush, 1 mm plus minus 1 mm. To adjust the door in and out, remove the striker and loosen the hinge to door bolts. Adjust the door accordingly and torque the hinge to door bolts to 36 Nm 26 foot-pounds and install the striker to 12 Nm 9 foot-pounds. To adjust the hinge cover in and out, remove the sill trim panel. Loosen the hinge cover bracket mounting nuts, insert shims as desired behind the bracket and reinstall the mounting fasteners. To adjust the hinge cover left to right, the hinge cover bracket mounting fasteners will need to be loosened to adjust the bracket and reinstall the bracket fasteners. Gap specifications for the hood are as follows and should be measured at multiple locations. Hood to sill, 5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Left and right front corners of the hood to fascia, 5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Headlamp to fascia, 5 mm plus minus 1 mm. Hood to fascia, 4.5 millimeters plus minus 1 millimeter. Flush specifications for the hood are as follows and should be measured at multiple locations. Hood to sill, overflush 1.5 millimeters plus minus 1 millimeter. Left and right front corners of the hood to fascia, overflush 1 millimeter plus minus 2 millimeter. Hood to fascia, underflush 1 millimeter plus minus 1 millimeter. Hood adjustments are as follows. If the hood is high or low in relation to the front fascia, loosen the hinge to body bolts and adjust as necessary. Tighten bolts to 28 Newton meters, 21 foot-pounds. If the hood is high or low in relation to the sill trim panel, adjust the hood bumper in or out. If the hood is in need of fore and aft adjustment, loosen the hinge to hood nuts, adjust as necessary, and tighten the nuts to 16 Newton meters, 12 foot-pounds. In some instances, hood latch adjustment is necessary. Tighten the nuts to 11 Newton meters, 8 foot-pounds when adjusted. For additional gap and flush information, refer to the service information.